What if I told you that the most successful people in history didn't just make one decision to follow their calling? They made the same decision every single day, especially when it got hard. Have you ever started something with just incredible enthusiasm, maybe a new role, business venture, or personal goal, only to find yourself just questioning everything when the initial excitement wore off and the real work began? Hey, friends, thanks for joining today on Leading with Bill. I'm Bill Martin, your personal leadership coach, and this is where biblical wisdom can transform your leadership and life. Now, before we dive in today, I am sporting the Kentucky Wildcats gear. It is game day, so just wanted to share Go Cats. Also wanted to share a quick reminder. If you want to take a deeper step in your leadership growth, I provide a free values-based leadership assessment. Just click the link in the description below to get this free resource. I'd love to share it with you. Today, we're tackling one of Jesus's most challenging statements, words that separate casual followers from committed disciples. Now, this isn't about a one-time decision. It's about a daily choice that will define not just your leadership, but your entire life. And I'll be honest, this message has been both my greatest encouragement and my toughest reality check since starting Leading with Bill. So let's open our Bibles to Luke chapter 9 in verses 23 through 26. Then he said to them all, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit their very self? Whoever is ashamed of me and my words, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his glory and in the glory of the Father and of the holy angels." Now let's unpack these verses. When Jesus talks about taking up your cross, this audience knew exactly what he meant. Now, the cross wasn't a piece of jewelry or symbol on a church wall. It was an instrument of execution. Now, Jesus here meant death to your own agenda, your own comfort, your own way of doing things. But just to be clear, we're not talking about your surrender your life to Jesus moment. That is a one-time, change your life and destiny forever decision. What we're talking about here is the path of walking with Jesus after you've surrendered your life to him. Notice the word daily. Jesus is saying that following him requires a daily choice to put his will above our own, his purposes above our comfort, and his calling above our convenience. Deny themselves doesn't mean hating who you are. It means saying no to the part of you that wants to take the easy path, that wants to quit when things get tough, that just wants to go back to what feels safe. And then Jesus gives this paradox. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will save it. The very thing we think will protect us, playing it safe, avoiding risk, choosing comfort over calling, that's actually what causes us to lose the life we were meant to live. The question isn't whether following your calling will be difficult. The question is, will you choose to take up your cross daily, even when it's hard? So I need to be completely honest with you. Starting Leading with Bill hasn't been a fairy tale. There are days when I question everything. When clients don't convert, when content doesn't land the way I hoped, or when the financial pressure just seems overwhelming. A real-time example here. This week, 2 unexpected financial hits. Had to replace the tires and brakes on the car, and had to replace the AC and furnace for the home. Like, are you kidding me? And so I'm practicing what I'm sharing. If this topic is only for me today, then okay. But my cross looks like daily choosing faith over fear, service over self promotion, and long term purpose over short term comfort. Now, some days I want to go back to the predictable paycheck and the familiar structure. Sure, I miss the security of knowing exactly what my next 2 weeks would look like. I mean, there are mornings when I sit at my desk and think, what have I done? The cross isn't just one big decision that I made several weeks ago in leaving my job. It's the daily choice to keep following, even when my emotions are screaming at me to go back to what felt safe. But then I remember this daily choice to follow, even when it's hard, it's what transforms both me and the people I serve. The cross isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily surrender. And every time I choose to pick it up again, I discover that God's strength really is made perfect in my weakness. So let's talk about what taking up your cross looks like today. Maybe for you, it looks like investing in your growth and development. It would be easier to coast, just drift along, standing by your values when it would be more profitable to compromise, or serving others when you'd rather focus on yourself. Here's what I've seen in my experience. The difference between momentary enthusiasm and sustained discipleship is your willingness to embrace difficulty as part of the journey, not as a sign that you're on the wrong path. Seeing this in my own journey has been mind-blowing. Most people quit not because they chose the wrong calling, but because they expected their purpose to be easier than it actually is. They thought the cross was a one-time decision and not a daily choice. But here's the truth that Jesus is teaching us. Daily self-denial and sacrifice aren't punishment. They're the path to the life we were actually created to live. When you try to save your life by avoiding the cross, you end up losing the very things you were trying to protect. Leave a comment below and share, what does taking up your daily cross look like in your current season? Your honesty might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going. I want to take a few minutes here and speak directly to my people who aspire to lead. As leaders, this passage teaches us something crucial, that honest leaders communicate both the benefits and the costs up front. Too many leaders, whether they're leading teams, starting a business, or coaching others, they sell the dream without preparing people for the reality. They focus on the destination without talking about the journey. In order to have a successful, sustainable leadership, it requires a daily commitment, not just initial excitement. Your job as a leader isn't just to inspire people to start, it's to help them understand that struggle is part of the growth, not a sign of failure. When I work with coaching clients, I don't just talk about the transformation they'll experience. I also help them understand that growth requires daily choices that won't always feel good in the moment. The leaders who succeed are the ones who embrace this daily discipline, not the ones who expect it to get easier. Your team, even your family, the people you influence, they need to see you taking up your cross daily, not perfectly, consistently. They need to see that commitment isn't about never struggling, but it's about choosing to keep going even when you do struggle. Now, here's my challenge for you and everyone watching this week. Identify one area where you've been trying to save your life instead of taking up your cross. Ask yourself, where am I choosing short-term comfort over long-term purpose? What daily choice am I avoiding because it feels too difficult? Remember, taking up your cross isn't about making your life miserable. It's about aligning your daily choices with your deepest calling, even when it's hard. The cross that you're called to carry isn't the same as mine, but the principle is the same. Daily surrender leads to the life you were actually created to live. Remember, you were made on purpose and for a purpose. Don't let the difficulty of the daily choice keep you from the life God has waiting for you. Friends, thanks for joining me today on Leading with Bill. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and we'll see you next time.